What's up everyone, this is Erica with Hooking You Up, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my super easy colorful knit happy beanies. This knit beanie is super stretchy and super lightweight and is made up of 6 colors, although I'm going to be using 5 colors today because that's all I have on hand, and then paired with a pom. I do have a video on how to make fox palms, so if you would like that, I will list it in the description below. And this is going to be worked from the bottom up on circular needles. And these are the 5 colors that I have. You can use any colors you'd like. They will still make up a 5 pattern stacked beanie. So what you will need for this project is US 11 8mm circular needles, and then any 5 colors that you like to use. Now let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with blue, since I have a couple beanies already made with red, and we're gonna do the long tail cast on method. And in order to do that, how we're going to do it is you're going to have your index and thumb on the tail end, and then from your wrist to your elbow I'm going to do a total of 5. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to wrap around. Now we're going to cast on 40 stitches. I also have a video on how to do simple casting on, so I will also list that in the description below. But in order not to make this video too long, I'm just going to go ahead and cast on 40 stitches. Twenty. 30. 40. Once you've casted on 40, we are ready to start working in the row. Now I know there's different kinds of knitters out there. I like to have the tail plus the yarn that I'm using to work in to my beanie to be in my right hand. So we're going to start by connecting, and how we're going to do that is insert through the front, just like that. So now you have an X. And keeping the tail out of the way, we're only going to be working. If you know how and want to weave in the tail as you go, then I'd recommend that. But I just like to do it last. So with my yarn, like I said, we entered from the front, and make sure it's nice and even. And then we're going to take that yarn over the front and pull. I'll do that one more time. We're going to, with that last stitch, we're going to enter through the front, but this needle will go through the back, and then we're going to use our yarn and we're going to pull through. And now you have officially connected, and now we can start working in the round. So we're going to be, for the brim only, we're going to be working a knit purl stitch all the way around. Knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, so forth. So I just knit one. Now I'm going to purl, and in order to purl, what I'm going to do is the yarn I'm working with, I'm going to bring it over at the front. I'm going to stick my right needle through the front, and I'm gonna pull that yarn up and over. Now I'm going to knit one, insert through the front, wrap my yarn around, pull that piece through. Now I'm going to purl, wrap my yarn forward, insert through that next stitch, pull through. I'll do a couple more slow with you, and then I'll meet you guys at the end. Knit one, purl, insert, over, pull up, knit, go forward, wrap the top, pull through, purl, pull through the front, stick, pull through and over. And we're going to continue doing that all the way around. The rest of the hat, once we finish, so we're going to do a total of 7 rows for the brim, and then the rest of the hat will just be a regular knit stitch. So all right, now we've successfully made it all the way around, and you'll know when you have made it all the way around when you've made it to your long tail. So now we're going to continue working a knit stitch, purl stitch all the way around for a total of 7 rows. And how I like to count my rows is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just that simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how you would count your rows. So like I said, we're going to continue working in the round, doing a knit stitch, purl stitch. So every time you work your last stitch, that first stitch will always be a knit stitch. So you're going to insert, pull through, bring this one forward, insert, pull under and up. Now we're going to keep doing that all the way around for a total of 7 rows. So I will meet you guys back on my last row. Alright, welcome back you guys. I am just finishing up the last couple of stitches of my 7th row, and you want your 7th row to be on your needles. So in order to count, if you've got 7 rows, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Now we're working that last stitch. And now we are officially ready for our next color. In my case, it's going to be green. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my green in. I like to keep a little bit, about this much, just so I can tie it with the blue. So I have already cut off my blue. I try to keep a good amount, so we're no longer using the blue. And now we're done with the knit stitch, the knit 1 purl 1 stitch, and we're going to be working just the regular knit stitch all the way around for the remaining colors of the beanie. So what I like to do is hold the next color in my right fingers, and we're gonna start by working a knit stitch. Again, it's gonna be the same as we've been doing. We're gonna yarn over, pull through. I like to work the back of the purl. So as you can see, this is not the knit stitch. This is where we would purl. But since we're just continuing to doing the knit stitch, we're going to bring it through the back, yarn over, pull off, knit stitch, yarn over, pull off, knit stitch, insert through the back, yarn over, pull off. It might look a little funny at first, but once you've completed your 2nd to 3rd row, you'll start to see that it'll just be a regular knit stitch all the way up. That's why the brim is thicker, because we're doing a knit 1 purl 1, and then the rest is flat because it's a regular knit stitch. So we're gonna continue. think I totally purled one. That is my bad. I'm just going to keep doing that all the way around. Now to knit faster, I usually have my yarn wrapped around. It's being held in the back of my fingers, and I have it wrapped around my index. And using my pinky and my index finger, that's kind of how I control the yarn as I move in the round. But I just once you get this steady movement, you'll be able to just knit faster. You don't have to worry about, because while you're learning, stopping, wrap around, pull off, insert, stopping, it's just a lot more time. But I understand this is supposed to be a beginner friendly to intermediate, but I'm just giving you guys tips as I go along, should they be helpful to you. So. All right, now you can see this gap. What I like to do is take the first color that I cut off and then that tail end of the new color that I started with, and I'm just gonna tie. I don't like to make it super tight, but just tight enough where they won't come undone as I work in the round. And I just tuck it inside as I work in the round. So now you finish your first row of blues, and we're gonna do 4 more rows. Excuse me, greens. I don't know where I'm at today, guys. I thought I had a fresh brain to do this project, but clearly not, since I'm getting everything wrong. So we're gonna continue knitting in the round using our next color. Mine is green. And we're going to continue this for another 4 rows. So your 5th row, our next color will be a total of 5 rows, and our 5th row will be on our needles. So I will see you guys at the end. All right, you guys, I'm working the final stitches to my second color. And there we go. I finished 5 rows. The 5th row is on my needles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now we're gonna bring in our 3rd color. Mine is yellow. Again, I'm gonna hold a little bit. I'm gonna have a little tail. I'm gonna hold it tight while I make my first knit. Wrap around, up and over. All right, and really quick, I'm gonna cut off my green. We are officially done with the green. I'm going to tie it, not super tight, but tight enough that it doesn't come apart. You'll always adjust the knots at the very end. So for our next color, we're gonna do a total of 6 rows. Again, we're doing the purl stitch. The slow way to do the purl stitch is by entering through the front, wrap around, go under and pull off. The fast way is holding the yarn that we're working with. Just insert through the front. It's almost like you're grabbing that yarn, you're fishing for it, grab, pull under and off. Fishing for it, grab. Fishing for it. And just keep working until your 6 rows are complete and your 6th row will be on your needles. So again, I will see you guys on the 6th row. All right, you guys. Just worked my last stitch. I have 6 total, with the 6th row being on my needles. We got 2 colors left. We're going to be using the same scenario, having a little bit of tail. And we're going to just start knitting. And it's really that simple to add in different colors. So again, I'm gonna cut off my yellow. And I'm going to tie my 2 ends. Stick them right inside. And we're gonna worry about those last, so. Now for our next color, so we did a total of 7 rows with our brim, 5 rows with our green, 6 rows with our yellow, and now we're going to be doing 5 rows with our orange, remembering to have our 5th row on our needles. You're just continuing the knit stitch. All the way in the round. Working our 2nd row. How about I just do this set of 5 orange rows with you. If you guys would like a video on speed knitting, let me know in the comments section and I can share my helpful tips on how to knit faster. Even the knit purl, the knit one purl one can be slow, but there are ways to be a little quicker. And I mean, just generally working the same stitch over and over, you're bound to be quicker over time. So don't worry if you're not quick right away. Working slow is perfectly fine too. So we're working our third row already. I definitely knock these beanies out from start to finish, from 40 minutes to an hour. Normally it takes me about 45 minutes to make one beanie. Just think of it as I'm already working my fourth row and it's only been about 5 minutes. So think of it as 6 minutes per row. Or, yeah, I guess that would be fine. 6 times 5 is 35, so about a 35-minute beating. That is for, I would say that's a good time frame for intermediate or advanced knitters. For a beginner, I expect this to take you roughly an hour or an hour and a half, which is completely fine. Over time, once you get in the groove of making beanies, it comes quick. So we're working row 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So we are working our last row. Working our last stitch. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Now we are going to officially be working our last color, which is red. And we are almost done. So we're gonna have a little taily tail. And we're just gonna start knitting. I like to hold that tail tightly between my last 2 fingers. That way it doesn't slide through as you're starting to knit it. Knit it. And we're going to cut orange. And we're going to tie those two. Alright, so for our last row, we're going to do 5 rows. And while I'm working this row, I just want to let you guys know how I determined that this would be a good fit for adults is I just tried it on my head while I was still on my needles. So once you finish the good amount, you can just pop this right on your head. And if what I like to do is while this part is covering my ears, I like to take the two needle points and close it like that while it's on my head. So if it closes all the way, that means you and your ears are covered. That means you have the perfect amount of stitches. Now, if you close it and it either rises above your ears or it doesn't quite close at your dome, then you still need some more stitches. And you can just continue working until you have pulled this completely tight on the top of your head and the brim is covering your ears. Now that can also determine a kid size too. So if you prefer, I would suggest using about 36 stitches for a kid size for the knit 1 purl 1 brim. And then you can still try it on, and if it's too small, then that's how you know it would fit a kid. But if this is too confusing, just disregard it. It's just a little helpful tip. So like I said, we are going to be working 5 rows with the 5th row being on your needles, and I will see you guys when we get there. All right, you guys, I'm working the last 2 stitches. Just for the fun of it, I was thinking as I was working in the row, I am just going to add 2 more rows. As long as you're between 28 and 30 rows total, that'll give you a nice beanie that sits on your head. If you would like a slouchy style, I would do between 28 and 33 stitches. Excuse me, 28 through 33 rows from brim to top. And I wanted this one a little more slouchy. So instead of the 28 rows that I told you at the beginning, I'm gonna end up having 30. But you guys can end right at 28. I don't want to confuse anyone. I just want to give extra suggestions if you're looking for a specific styled hat. And I might as well tell you guys that while I'm making the tutorial. Alright, so I'm working my last row. So instead of 5, like I originally told you guys, I will have a total of 7. Now the last 2 rows will be hidden anyways because they will be hidden at the very top from the palm and from being tied. All right. Now we have completed our beanie. Nice and beautiful. And instead of doing a smaller tail, I'm going to cut off a large amount. All right, now that I've cut off a good amount, I'm going to be putting the end through my slip needle, whatever this is called. I don't know why I forgot. Sorry for all the noises, my house is old. And now, let me bring this closer. How I'm gonna close up my beanie, I'm just gonna raise the needle a little bit so it's easier for me to put my needle, insert my needle. I'm gonna put it right in the middle, all the way around. Try not to miss a stitch. I've done that before and it sucks. I just do a couple at a time. As I go. Now I can slowly take out my needle. And I like to just insert it a couple times back around. Alright. And I just pull and it closes it. Now what I like to do is just hold the top like that. Just insert it a couple times. This makes the hole smaller and smaller. Knot it. Then I just like to double knot it. Double knot it again. This ensures that your needle, this ensures that your beanie will stay together for years to come. Just kind of weave that in. Alright, now I clip it. And you have officially, now we're going to turn it inside out. And we're going to work with these. So what I like to do with the brim is turn it upside down And I noticed that if I just weave it in like this, then it's gonna be kind of uneven right here. So I go at an angle to the left of where that stitch starts, pull it through. Before I pull it all the way through, I'm gonna make a knot. Then I just weave it through. And now this bottom brim is even, as you can see. I just weave it in. And then let's cut it off. Alright, now what I usually do is just pull it tight, super tight. And I double knot it again. And then I just kind of weave in once. Cut. Again, pull tight. Double knot it. Weave in both sides, at least through one. There you go. So once you tie in all the insides, it'll look like this. You could just flip it back, right side in. And there you go. You got a nice, beautiful beanie. Now you can either keep it like this for like a men's cap style, or you can throw on a pom. And there you have it. A beautiful 1-hour knit beanie. Stretchy, lightweight. You can throw on your tag. And notice how it's the same sizing. Alright, you guys, if you have any questions, please leave them in the description and I will surely get back to them as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this tutorial was easy, and I hope you guys enjoy your rainbow beanies. I will see you guys in the next video. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Peace.